Hey, what's up guys, how you all doing? I'm Paul the Tech Giant and welcome back to the channel, where today I'm going to be performing a real world daytime brightness and reflection test on this 65-inch LG G5 OLED. Now for many years OLED TVs haven't been particularly bright, but things are a-changing, especially with this G5 OLED. It is ridiculously bright. To the point where the other night my missus seen this TV for the first time. She sat there going like this, saying that is just too bright, and to be fair, she does have a point. Because with nighttime viewing, you don't generally need that much brightness. But it's the daytime where that brightness comes into play. So that's why today I'm going to be testing out this TV with SDR content, HDR content, bright scenes and dark scenes, and all in a fairly lit living room. Now I just want to say a big thanks to Peter Tyson for sending over this TV, and if you want to pick one up for yourselves, then you're going to be safe with the knowledge knowing you're going to get yourself free delivery, a free 5-year warranty and great customer service to back it all up. So many good reasons to make your next TV purchase from Peter Tyson, and I'll be putting a link to them in the description. Okie dokie, let's crack on then, and first off I want to see what the reflections are like on this screen when it is off. So let's start off with the wave test first and give a little wave. Can we see me? Yes, you can. Now it's not exactly like a mirror, but we can see that reflection just there. Now if we pan around a bit, now we do have some big bright windows in my living room. And what can we see? Well, we can see them reflecting in that screen. Now it does have like a purple hue to it, and it does diffuse the light somewhat, or dull it down should I say, but we can see that reflection pretty easily. Next up, we're going to test out some HDR content, and currently I am in the standard HDR pitch mode and the OLED brightness set to 0. Yes, as low as it can go. So what we're going to do is move around and see what the reflections are like, and then I'm going to up the brightness. So we can see those reflections just there as we did before. Now if I up the brightness, see what happens. Now we are at 100, and what can we see? Well, yes, we are still seeing some reflections just there, and a little bit more there on the lighter parts of the scene, but it is doing quite a good job of battling those bright reflections coming through. Now let's just pan back round to the middle, and what I'm going to do is actually now put it into vivid, and oh yeah, now that's gone super bright now. And if we go round again, we are still seeing some reflections there, but yeah, it is really bright. Again, like I said, this is going to do a great job of trying to overcome all that natural daylight coming through that window. Now putting it back into its standard mode, and I want to move around and see what the viewing angles are like. Now most traditional LED TVs tend to wash out quite a bit. You get a real nasty looking image, but the OLED is doing a very good job. It's washing out a little bit, losing a bit of brightness, but overall far better than a traditional LED TV. If we go back round, you will see the colours and brightness go up. Let's move around again. And I'll be honest, I don't know if it's doing quite so well as the LG G4 OLED, but I'll test that out in another video to see if it's the same or any different when it comes to those viewing angles. And of course, I'll be doing a brightness test for those as well. Moving on to some SDR content now, or standard dynamic range. And again, this is in the standard picture mode and OLED brightness at 0. And I've got to say it, that image looks really good. So let's move around again and see what that's like. So yeah, we are seeing those reflections there. Move back round to the middle. We're going to change up the brightness a bit. So we'll put it, let's say halfway. So 50. And again, at just 50, that looks really bright, which normally you don't get with standard dynamic range content. Generally, you know, it's quite a bit duller, as you would expect, or should I say dimmer. Let's move around. And yeah, again, we are still seeing reflections there, But let's now bump that up all the way. So 50 going up to 100. There we go, 100 now. And that looks pretty decent. Again, still seeing reflections, but that brightness, yeah, for SDR content is mad. Now, once again, I'm going to change it up now to vivid. And well, it's just blowing out. Colors have gone mental. Not to everyone's taste, but again, for SDR content, that is immensely bright. Let's move around. So yeah, again, seeing reflections, but not quite as bad because we've got that extra brightness there trying to battle that light coming through the windows. Yeah, I think that is just absolutely mental. So it's not all about HDR anymore. You can get a real bright image on this G5 with your regular SDR content. Moving on to some darker content now, and once again, this is HDR. We're in the standard picture mode and OLED brightness at 0. So let's move around, and as you would expect on the dark areas, you know, it's going to reflect and we can see those reflections. Now I'm going to up the OLED brightness again, so we'll go round to 50 this time. And if we now move back round once again, yeah, so the bright bits obviously are looking nice and bright, but those dark areas obviously are going to remain dark and we can see those reflections. But in the brighter areas, yeah, it's looking good. But let's now whack it up to 100. So those brighter areas not really being affected that much at all. But yes, obviously, because this is a glossy screen, we are seeing those reflections in the darker areas. Once again, we're going to hit it up to the brightest setting, so vivid. And yeah, that is vivid, all right. And again, the bright areas are looking nice and bright. And the reflections, yeah, they are coming through there in those darker areas. But overall, I think it is doing a very good job, seeing though it is a glossy screen and in a bright room. And there you have it then, guys. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments section. Do you think that this sort of brightness war that goes on between the manufacturers is really called for? Or do you think it's something that us consumers actually need, especially when you've got a bright room? Now, if you have enjoyed today's video, do us a favour and give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more videos like this in the future. And trust me, there's going to be a lot more with this LG G5 OLED. Then make sure you subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I'll be catching you guys on the next one. Bye for now.